Great to be here today. Thank you for choosing to be here. It's so awesome to see so many familiar faces that I've met outside, and I really, really appreciate your being here today. I want to start out this time with you to summarize. My friend and business partner, Ryan, was at the luncheon. I was not able to be there. 3 things that the panelists summarized that we heard there. Be true to your brand, don't give up, and be fearless. Hopefully, that theme that they summarized and what Barry just summarized, I love what you've just said, Barry, about the 5 pillars of their organization, will all tie together to support you with value for whatever you do with your culture as your brand. So to get started, I'd love you to please raise your hand for which of these categories best describes the type of organization you are or work for. Those of you that are solopreneurs, independent consultants, wonderful, welcome. Those that are small businesses, yay, welcome. Mid-sized companies, welcome. And enterprise, very few to none. That's absolutely understandable. This is very much a small and mid-sized business expo. All of you, welcome. And thank you for being you. As Barry just said, that's really at the heart of it, is I can't be anything but me, and hopefully you recognize that for yourself. So yes, I do have the Oscar Wilde quote in there. It's slightly adapted by a dear friend of mine, so you might as well be you, because everyone else is taken. So if I can remind myself that every time I'm trying to be wannabe or want to imitate another company or person, this reminds me that actually I can only be the best me that there is. So why are we here today? What are we going to do in the next 45 minutes or so? I'm going to leave some time, hopefully, for Q&A at the end. Let's look at that. A lot of hype about social media. It's very important. I definitely think it's something we all need to plan with strategy, with deliberate intention. At the end of the day, the best thing about social media is it's a listening vehicle more than a talking vehicle. Are you leveraging it to listen to your customers, to your employees, to the conversations and communities that are building around your brand? And really, if we feel stuck and lost with a lot of the doom and gloom and struggle of the economy, just look at yourself and look at the great strengths that you bring, and that right there is the seed to start the growing. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So what's in a name or a brand, be it my own name or my company's name or your company's name or your name? Everything, everything. Even in this day and age where names are becoming so difficult to grab because of URLs being taken. Even if you end up with a name like Zappos or Amazon or many, many more smaller examples, be true to that name. Be true to what you're about. So your name is really your true nature, and a brand is a name. So by name, we don't mean just the literal meaning of the name. We mean your values, your mission, your vision. Do you take the time to slow down from the day-to-day operation of what you sell, what you provide, how you provide value, to really look at, why am I here? Why am I really doing this? Yes, we all need to make money, but really after that, why am I here? What am I doing? What's going to change? How am I going to add value in the world when I'm done with this? Be it a solopreneur or an enterprise, all the way across that spectrum. If we're not doing this, we're not growing, in my opinion. And yes, the much favorite example of a company of success, especially right now, I'm getting goosebumps thinking of Steve Jobs. He could only be himself. That's the biggest miracle of Apple. If you read, even the little bit of the memoir that's come out, that's what it's about. Is the seed that he planted was the seed of uniquely him and Apple. So an apple seed can only produce an apple. What seed are you planting? Are you clear about what seed you're planting and who you are, and what tree you're going to grow from that seed? A long quote, I promise this is the only one, a lot of words up there, but if you haven't heard this is a critical piece of the why I'm here and why I'm speaking to you today. Marianne Williamson's quote, if you're not familiar, the woman who was quoted by Nelson Mandela during his inauguration in 1994, I believe. And he quoted this quote that I'll read in a minute. And she's the founder of the US Department of Peace. Yes, it exists. She's working on it. She's lobbying for it. Why not? We can spend trillions on those other things. How about peace? So she says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness. And by darkness, I mean, our faults, our challenges, our obstacles, not having funding, all of those things for us businesses that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who are we to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are we not to be? So hopefully there's one thing you take away from today is how you can be more brilliant, more gorgeous, more fantastic with whoever you serve when you walk out of here. So I'm going to play a video now that is one of my favorite. Let's see. Move the mouse up. There we go.
I'm Paul Venables, founder and creative director of Venables Bell & Partners, an advertising agency in San Francisco. How do I inspire my employees? By believing in them. It's that simple. Thank you for your time.
I love that quote. That's one of my favorite quotes. Come on. There we go. All right. So that's the backdrop, folks, of what we're going to look at today. And now let's get into the meat of it. 3 areas. What I'm going to cover is give you a current state of union kind of address on people and how it is looking right now, starting with a couple of nuggets that are my favorite. And then the ROI, because we definitely live in a left brain-centric world. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing. It's brought us a long way. So I'll give you some numbers around it. And then I'll show you a couple of steps to not overwhelm you too much with some approaches, some possible ways to create that culture.